This is incredible. Sure, I know that we had a 15-1 shot in the first leg, but to Somebeacsomewhere, are you telling me that the pick 4 will return 1,600?
Yes, sir. And there are 5 out of the 10 payoffs that paid a 3 out of 4.
Okay. Which is pretty amazing, but nonetheless, Blue Ridge Western 50-1 here. Was 4th in his Breeders' Crown Elim. Dave Pallone aboard again tonight. Wasn't a bad showing from Post 8.
Shadow Play has won 5 out of his last 6 starts, including the Little Brown Jug and the Windy City Pace. And his only loss in there was a neck defeat to Somebeacsomewhere in that thrilling Messenger at Yonkers, where Somebeacsomewhere had the first over trip and was able to grind down Shadow Play in the shadow of the wire. But this Shadow Play is the one horse that could give Somebeacsomewhere a run for the money.
Well, you just saw Somebeacsomewhere, and in the minds of some people, one of the greatest pacers that this sport has ever seen. And if you go by what he's accomplished and how he's accomplished it, I guess you'd have to agree. Dolly the 5 at 44-1. Along with Somebeacsomewhere, did take a bye from the Breeders' Crown eliminations last week. And for both, post position draw, not too bad. It was great for Somebeacsomewhere. I think Rudy Rednose might pick up a minor award here.
Well, you last time out that Rudy Rednose raced, I think you really liked the way he finished, and you even said watch out for him next time out to maybe get into some of the exotics. But yeah, underneath, probably not on the win end though.
Yeah, Mystery Chase 70-1. Bittersweet for a good guy, good trainer, Joey Policino, 55-1. Obviously, they'll have to work hard here, and it's even higher price, 75-1 on Liz Finney. They'll all be chasing Somebeacsomewhere. All right, welcome back to Drive Time, everybody, and of course the quarters as well. Quickly, let's go to Dave Brower. His thoughts on the Breeders' Crown 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pace. Dave?
Coming up, the marquee matchup in the Glamour Boy division. The Beach and his Shadow will duke it out for the 3rd and final time in the $500,000 Breeders' Crown Colt Pace for the 3-year-olds. Somebeacsomewhere is back at the scene of his only career blemish, that great Meadowlands Pace final where he suffered his only loss in world record time. The Beach drew post 3 in his career finale for Brent McGrath and Paul MacDonnell, and what a dream season it's been. With a win, he goes over the $3 million mark to make his case for the honor of Harness Horse of the Year. But Shadow Play, I'm sure he will have a lot to say about it. His connections, Dr. Ian Moore and company, chose post 2 after capturing last week's elimination impressively in his first trip here at the Meadowlands. He hasn't beaten the Beach yet, but the good news is that he is expected to come back next year and race age 4. Others in the field looking for the monster upset include Dolly, who's got a good mid-pack post. He hasn't missed a dance all year for Dwayne Marfisi and Luke Willett. He had a stellar qualifier right here last Friday morning after taking a bye from the elimination. And how about Rudy Rednose with Brian Sears? Sears, one of the all-time leaders in Crown wins. He's got 16 and looking for more. He stormed home up the pylons in the elimination, and he comes off 2 huge efforts for trainer George Teague. A great race it will be, and guys, I have to admit, it really is true. In harness racing, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
You know, Brent McGrath, a horseman, but apparently not a tremendous amount of success over the years. It's certainly not enough to earn a living. So got in the auto industry here, I believe, worked at a car dealership in Canada, Nova Scotia. Guess what? After the success of Somebeacsomewhere, McGrath and a couple of his partners from Schooner Stables, the owner of Somebeacsomewhere, they bought their own car dealership. All right, it's the Breeders' Crown final. 3-year-old pacing Colts and Gelding. Somebeacsomewhere could be crowned Horse of the Year with a victory here. Sam McKee, you have done a great job. Finish it out for us.
And they're off. Somebeacsomewhere and Shadow Play striding out together. Shadow Play gets a crack with the whip from Dave Miller. Blue Ridge Western trying to stick close from that rail spot as they barrel into the opening turn. Somebeacsomewhere is driving onto the front, and Shadow Play secures the pocket position. Blue Ridge Western is 3rd. Share the Delight a length and a half further back 4th. Dolly came away 5th, followed up 6th by Rudy Rednose. Backing off on the outside, Mystery Chase, who's parked out. Blue Claws 8th at the rail. Liz Finney parked with dull cover. The opening quarter in 27 seconds flat. And at the tail of the field is Better Sweet, who is the trailer, and Some Beach Somewhere is in control and in hand on the backstretch. A length and a half clear of the pocket sitter. Shadow Play is rolling along there in second. Blue Ridge Western on the inside third. Share the Delight following the top trio in fourth. Dolly a length and a half further back fifth. Some Beach Somewhere is edging away now to a 2-length lead from Shadow Play, and it's the Beach hitting the half 54-3. Some Beach Somewhere leads him onto the far turn. Shadow Play is sticking close in that pocket spot. Blue Ridge Western getting towed along there in third with 3/8 to go. Share the Delight on the inside fourth. Rudy Rednose tipped out and underway. On the outside is fifth. Dolly is shuffled back sixth on the inside. Then Mystery Chase, Blue Claw, Liz Finney, and Better Sweet the trailer. Some Beach Somewhere still being tracked intently by Shadow Play as the Beach hits the 3/4 marker in 1:22, and they come to the top of the stretch. Some Beach Somewhere looking to pour it on. MacDonnell kicks out the plugs, and he draws away to a 3-length lead. Shadow Play trying to rev up and come get him from the pocket spot. Up the rail is Blue Ridge Western. Some Beach Somewhere. Shadow Play on the outside. Blue Ridge Western at the rail. Some Beach Somewhere leads it as they head down to the line. Some Beach Somewhere goes out a champion in the Breeders' Crown. 1:48-3. Shadow Play second. Blue Ridge Western third. And Dolly was fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you're looking at the 2008 Horse of the Year
You think?
in harness racing.
Just make it official, Gary.
Okay, 1:48-3. Nowhere's near the time from the Meadowlands pace in July, of course.
But they went 3 seconds slower to the half,
Yeah.
3 seconds slower to the 3/4, and was only about a second off at the final clocking, so they were moving late.
All right, quickly out to Losell. Well, hi, Mike, thanks so much. Yeah, that is the 20th win in 21 lifetime starts for Some Beach Somewhere. And the only race he lost was at the Meadowlands. He avenged that loss tonight on the front end for Paul MacDonnell.
How about this? The only race he lost, as stupid as it sounds, was his best race. I mean, you remember that when he was parked 3-4 wide and with 51 and change half. Any other horse on the planet gets last by 30 lengths. He lost by a nose. So to me, every race this year was a winning race.
Yeah, no question about it. He has set world records on a mile track, on a half-mile track. He wasn't invincible because he did have that Meadowlands pace, lost artificial in a world record for a 3-year-old. But how about an appreciative crowd? There's a lot of people in there, obviously a lot of connections to the horse. There's a nice close-up look at Some Beach Somewhere. I'm sure he knows that he's, they're fussing over him there. But a lot of people in the sport connected with writing stories and taking pictures all around the seemingly Horse of the Year here.
Yeah, I mean, what a fantastic animal that we've had the pleasure of watching on numerous occasions this year on TVG. And the pick 3.
6 carryover, $23,295. You know what? At the Meadowlands, that's good because the pick 6 is a $1 play. So you can be winning connections of Some Beach Somewhere.
We're in the winner's circle. Here it is. Some Beach Somewhere. Paul MacDonnell, Brent McGrath, and breeder Stephanie here. We're going to talk to Paul first. Paul, the first turn here. Shadow Play was extending a little bit. Take us to the quarter, Paul.
Well, I mean, I had the racetrack immediately, and I was just letting the horses get settled early. And once they got to the rail, I just let them pace on to the front, and the rest was history.
They were following you. Shadow Play was still about a length and a half behind. Were you just doing it on your own there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got to respect a horse like Shadow Play. He was on my back the whole way and got good cover, and he's a great horse in his own right, and you got to respect those horses. So I was just keeping him to task down the lane, and he responded.
122 to the 3/4. You've been there for all 21 career races. What were you thinking in your mind at the 3/4 pole, and what were the emotions hitting the wire?
Well, I was just, basically thinking, bring me home, buddy. One last time, and let's enjoy this. And, we did.
There was a full-out sprint there. There were Shadow Play and Blue Ridge Western weren't giving up.
No, I mean, they're great horses. Like I said before, you got to respect them in all aspects. And they showed some good respect to him tonight by in the first turn there. So, it works both ways.
Where does this rank on his all-time best efforts?
It's right up there. I mean, there's a couple other efforts that were pretty incredible, like the Messenger and the 46 mile in Lexington was incredible. Last week at Woodbine in crazy weather, he was unbelievable. So it's just one thing after another with him.
The last question I'm going to ask you is the first one I'm going to ask Brent. Did the door to the Horse of the Year open a little bit tonight after the 6th race?
Well, I would have to think he'd have to get a pretty serious look from anyone who watched him there tonight. I mean, he's never won a bad race ever. So, I mean, you know, he's there to be seen.
Okay, Paul MacDonnell, thanks so much. Brent McGrath and Stephanie. Brent, first, same question. The Horse of the Year door, was it opened up tonight?
Well, I don't know if it was opened up tonight. The horse has 4 world records before he came here tonight. He's had world record on a mile track. He's got a world record on a 7/8 mile. He's got a world record on a half-mile track. I mean, he's never won a bad race. He's got a single season's earnings record. I mean, how was the door not open before tonight? You know, I feel bad for Dewey. Dewey wasn't well all week, and he threw a bad race, and you know, I feel bad. If the door got open tonight, I'm not all that happy about it. That's not how we wanted the door open.
But you had sometimes you did the 46 and 4 was on by yourself, but you had some competition tonight. Shadow Play wasn't giving anything away.
Yeah, I mean, it's about 0 degrees in Canada here, or the temperature in Celsius is about 0 degrees, I would guess. And, you know, it was 75 degrees there in Lexington that day. And tonight's every bit as impressive a mile as Lexington, I would think. You know, he come home in 26 and 3 and off a half and 54 and 3. I certainly wasn't expecting a mile in 48.
What were the emotions you had when you handed the lines to Paul MacDonnell?
I mean, there's mixed emotions. It's been a long summer. I'd like to get back to work, my regular job, and I'd like to get back to my home. And but you know, giving up this horse or not racing this horse anymore is not that's not anything really to look forward to. But there's mixed emotions.
Maybe you can have another 1-horse barn next year.
Yeah, one just a little better.
I'm going to talk to Stephanie now. Stephanie Smith bred Somebeacsomewhere. I want to know, when did you know? Well, give me an idea. What was he like? Was he a precocious youngster? What was he like?
He was just very impressive. Just anything you did with him, he was just wonderful. Very athletic out in the field. Just a joy to be around.
Did he stand out in the crowd?
Yeah, he did. Just had a presence.
So there was something about him you can tell early on.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about this? You never expected this, right?
You don't ever expect it, but you dream about it, and he's a dream come true.
Okay, I know you want to see Somebeacsomewhere before we go. Thanks a lot for breeding him, and a wonderful, wonderful career, Stephanie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so there you have it, the Winner's Circle festivities and presentations and Paul MacDonnell and everything. I mean, it was interesting to hear trainer Brent McGrath, Dave, say, you know, I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to my regular job, my day job, which, again, you know, is working in the car business, which isn't all that great right now. But that's all I had, 1-horse stable, Somebeacsomewhere. I can't even imagine the feeling that after having a horse that has been in the national spotlight for 2 years, having a leading contender for Horse of the Year, making all this money, and then after tonight, it's all over, and you've got nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the way it is.
Not that you don't have anything, but you don't have Somebeacsomewhere anymore.
You have a lot of records in the record book, though. I mean, he has done
memories,
so much. But again, maybe he gets a better horse next year. Not so sure about that.
I don't know about that. But of